Hello everyone, welcome to I4C Growth. My name is Janice. This is the last video about shampooing you're ever going to need to watch in your life. Shampoo is a hair care product, typically in the form of a viscous liquid that is used for cleaning hair. Less commonly, shampoo is found in the form of a bar, which is a solid format. Shampoo is used by applying it to wet hair, scrubbing the product in, and rinsing it out. Thus, shampooing is using a shampoo to cleanse your hair and your scalp. Simple as that. So, why do we shampoo our hair? Simply because it gets dirty over time. Now, what makes the hair dirty? Dust, dirt, sweat, product, all of that builds up over time as we go about our day. You're out there on the road, cars are passing, people are walking, there's a lot of dust. I'm sure you've seen the adverts for Dettol. They always explain this thing very well. You see someone going like then you see the germs. You see someone running in the gym, you see the germs
outside in that heat.
So basically like that. So that's the same thing that happens to our hair. Sweat, and the sweat in itself is not bad, but the bacteria that's found on the skin mixed with the sweat, it's a cause for odor, it's a cause for scalp issues and things with your skin. That's why we wash our skin, so that's why we also need to wash our hair. So all these things begin to build up. The products that we are using, you're putting gel on your edges, maybe you are putting leave-in conditioner, maybe you're using certain Ayurvedic products on your hair. So all those things just pile up on top of each other and they begin to coat the hair strands, so much so that even if you try to spritz your hair, those spritz bottles that we use as naturals to spritz our hair with water or spritz it with some sort of tea rinse and things like that, and then put product on top, none of that water can seep in through past the cuticle layer and actually get to your hair to actually give it the moisture that it needs. So basically your hair is not getting moisturized effectively as long as you're using the spritz bottle and the products on top of each other, on top of each other, on top of each other. At some point, even when you spritz your hair, it's not getting moisturized at all. Because what does that buildup do? It creates a barrier between the products that you're trying to use or the water you're trying to use to moisturize your hair and the actual hair strand, okay? So basically the product can't penetrate through. So clean and shampooed hair is the only hair that can actually get moisturized effectively, or at all for that matter. So what happens when we shampoo our hair? Essentially we are cleansing the hair, yes, removing the buildup, yes, but the process of going into the shower with your whole head and letting even if you're not using a shower, some people like to use like a bucket and water and you just do like that. It's fine, it doesn't matter as long as you're submerging all your hair in the water. Once it's shampooed, number one, you've cleansed it, so you've stripped it of all those layers of dirt, build up, sweat and so on. And now after you rinse your hair of the shampoo, water is actually able to seep in to those hair strands, right? Because now the coating is gone, the hair strands are clean, the cuticles have that free space to open up and allow moisture from the water from the shower to seep in to the hair strands and actually moisturize it. So the thing that we have confused, or that we get confused about, myself included, before I understood this fact, is that I thought that the products that we use after the wash day or after washing or shampooing your hair are the ones that actually moisturize your hair. That's wrong, because what actually happens is the water that we allow into our hair when we are shampooing the hair or when we are rinsing it, and now you're sitting under the shower or you're standing under the shower and the water is just going into your hair, that's the moisture. So the moisture is from that water, is that water. What we do when we're putting products is locking in that moisture. So something like leave-in conditioner, yes, it has water in it, but it is not water. The only thing that can moisturize hair is water, okay? Basically what I want you to understand is that hair that has been shampooed is the only hair that can actually be adequately hydrated. And then when you come out of the shower, that's why we have to use leave-in conditioners, butters, oils and things like that, not only to impart more moisture on our hair, but to lock in the hydration that we got when we were in the shower. Is that making sense? Like this video if it's making sense, okay? And that's also why you can't just get out of the shower and say I'm good and go about your life, because the water that has been seeped into your hair strands through the cuticle is there. It's just sitting there, right? So air, sunshine and all those things will cause it to evaporate. That water will evaporate if we don't lock it in. if we don't use our leave-in conditioners, if we don't use our oils, if we don't use our butters and so on to lock in that moisture. But most importantly is having that hair clean so that the water from the shower can hydrate it. Then when we come out, the other things we're doing are kind of just extra, and then locking in that moisture for the rest of the week until we're able to wash it again, or the rest of the month, or whatever duration of time between your wash days. All human beings need to shampoo their hair. No one, don't let anyone lie to you that you don't need to shampoo your hair. Even babies need their hair shampooed, okay? Especially seeing as our scalp is part of our skin. So if you want to avoid complications with your skin and your scalp, then shampooing must be a part of your hair care routine. As hair care girlies and guys, we need to be very, very careful about including cleansing your scalp and hair into our hair care regimen. Not just, oh, today I feel like washing my hair, or let me wash tomorrow. No. Part of a regimen, which means a set of steps that you take on during a certain period of time, basically. So make sure you include a day for cleansing your scalp every single regular period of time, if that makes sense. So if it's a week, if it's 2 weeks, if it's a month, make sure that every of those period of times there's a wash day, you get me? And mark my words when I say every single person needs shampooing, because there's this notion, hey, salon chronicles, there's this notion, or before, okay, I don't know, I've not gone to a salon in a long time, but before I used to hear the salonists say things like nywele chafu ndo inameanga, by the way usipoosha nywele hiyo ndo inamea, nywele chafu ndo inameanga, that's why ukiweka braids, unaonanga ukiweka braids for like 2 months ndo maana inamea. That's not what, the dirt is not what's making it grow. Come on guys, really, let's get serious. Now, yes, kinkier hair types like us girls who are 4B, 4C hair types don't need to wash your hair every single day. That's actually more damaging than good. Straighter hair types can do that because why? Let me just go on a bit of a tangent here. Our scalp is part of our skin, right? So it produces a substance known as sebum, right? Sebum not only moisturizes our skin, but it also provides moisture for our hair, okay? Now, with straighter hair types, the sebum has a direct line of sight down the hair, and it's able to just come out of the scalp and be distributed down the hair as they comb or brush their hair and go about their day, tying it and so on and so forth. For kinkier hair types, because of the curls and the kinks and your hair strands connecting like this to form an afro, it's really difficult for sebum to find its way down your kinky, coily hair strand, right? So the more you go down the spectrum when it comes to curls and kinks and coils, the harder it is for the sebum produced by your scalp to travel down the hair strand, okay? So in that regard, the hair or rather 4C hair, 4B hair, kinkier hair types are more dry by nature, just how they are. Whereas people with straighter hair types will have hair that's more moisturized naturally because of that sebum that I just explained about. So it wouldn't make sense, and it would be harmful if you wash your hair every single day, if we wash our hair too much, because the hair is already naturally dry, okay? The white people, or the people with straighter hair, Asians, white people and so on, the people with straighter hair, they can wash their hair every day, because every day that hair is getting a chance for the sebum to just travel down the hair strands. That's why we'll look at how often we should wash our hair, but just know you shouldn't wash it every day. But that does not dispute the fact that all hair types, all people need to have the shampooing process as part of their wash day. The age-old question, how often should we wash our hair? Now, straight out the gate, I'm going to disappoint you, because there's no one-size-fits-all answer for this question, unfortunately. I, myself, I've really looked for someone who will tell me, this is the answer, wash your hair this amount of times, but let me tell you something. You have to find a way to make it work for you. We can look at a couple of things that can help inform this decision as you make it. Basically, the decision for how often should I wash my hair. Factor numero uno, hair type. Observe your hair type. Know your hair type. Learn your hair type, okay? This is the single most important thing you need to find out on your natural hair journey and know and understand. Granted, hair changes here and there, you know, with life experiences. Maybe you've put chemical in your hair, maybe you've done this, but I'm assuming you are natural, or at least you want to get into a natural hair journey. The lighting is changing, please don't mind that. If you're a natural hair girly, you can do certain things, certain tests to find out your hair type. Now, if y'all want me to make a video on how to know your hair type and everything to do with hair types, then comment down below and I will do that one. Like I said before, I think I said this before, I don't know if I said this before in a previous video, I'm still going to make the video because it's a very important. There's no point to tell you guys to comment down below if I'm going to make it anyways, but still, if that's something, maybe it will expedite me making that video. So if you guys want to see that video, comment down below, but I'm going to make it anyways, because like I was saying earlier, the most important thing you can do for yourself in your natural hair journey is find out your hair type. Okay, if your hair falls under the finer, drier, more brittle hair types, then you need to be careful not to do too much. Okay, hair that's naturally dry, you see, shampooing or shampoos, naturally how they're formulated, they are drying. Even a moisturizing shampoo can be drying. If we look at it, the reality of it, even shampoos that don't have those sulfates, parabens and so on, they can be drying if used too much or if used in the wrong way. So if you have a drier, finer, more brittle hair type, or on the spectrum, because hair types are all on the spectrum, then that means you need to be more careful not to shampoo as often as maybe someone who has thicker hair that is, you know, maybe more coarse and that is lower in porosity, because their hair is more resilient, their hair is more tough, and so it can take more of washing, drying without breaking off so much. And also low porosity hair types and thicker hair types, of course, they're more likely to form build-up faster or easier than higher porosity, finer hair types like my own. You'll find that someone who has low porosity hair, by virtue of the fact that their cuticles are laying flat on the hair strand, if you're curious, just look forward to the hair types video, but because their cuticles are laying flat on the hair strand, products tend to sit on top of the hair strands. So the first time they moisturize the hair, the products, yes, it will seep in properly, it will be able to get to the actual hair shaft, but over time product buildup happens very quickly because of those cuticles being laying flat like that, so product is not able to seep in at all. So with a lot of product buildup like that, then by virtue of that, you just need to wash your hair more frequently, as opposed to someone who has higher porosity hair, which the cuticles are naturally lifted like this, and so product can seep in easier even when there's a bit of buildup, but kuna gaps in the hair where the product can seep in, so they may not have to wash their hair as regularly as someone with low porosity hair. The second factor is your hair care regimen. If your hair care regimen involves the use of things like oils and butters and conditioners that are very heavy, or that you use more regularly than the next person, then girl, you need to shampoo your hair more often, because what does that mean? It means that the buildup will form faster, the odor will form faster, it will get matted faster, so you won't be able to effectively moisturize your hair or continue with the other practices in your hair care regimen. And especially if you're using Ayurvedic treatments, from someone who does that, sometimes you're not able to completely get rid of the strong scent that some of them have. Some of them have a stronger scent that you may not like so much. So if you are using Ayurvedic products that may have stronger scents, then you will need to shampoo your hair more often so that you get rid of those smells and you start on a fresh blank slate again and again. The next thing we can look at is pocket depth. Now, I think this phrase was coined by possibly my dad. I think I got it from him, that thing for saying deep pocket or shallow pocket, or maybe it's from elsewhere. I don't know. I think I had it with him. If your pocket is more shallow, and I think we all know what we mean by that, then you need to really be careful about how often you're doing your wash day, so that you're not depleting your pocket so much for the sake of wash day. Okay, so yes, hair is important, hair care is important, but there's other important aspects of life at the same time. So make sure you're living enough to invest in other areas of your life as well, so you're not spending all your money on hair care, self-care and all kinds of products. If you find that a season of your life has come with a shallower depth of pocket, then you just adjust, because a time will come maybe when you'll have a deeper pocket, you'll be able to get more products or do more or wash your hair more often, more regularly. So maybe what you can do, like a small tip here, is instead of washing your hair every week, because when it's open you have to wash it regularly because you're using products, it's getting dirty and so on. What you can do is go get braids or do your own braids so that you stay a month without having to worry about, washing your hair, shampooing it, conditioning, deep conditioning and all those other things. When it's in braids, then it can be in a protective style. So yes, you're caring for it in that protective style, but you're not having to wash it as regularly as you would if your hair was open. So just look at your pocket depth and adjust as necessary, okay? And if you're making sure that 90% of the time you're doing the best you can do for your hair, then the 10% of the time when you don't have a deep pocket or when you're not able to do the best that you can do won't affect your results necessarily, because the 90% you're doing as best as you can, you're massaging your scalp, you're doing all these other things. So missing out on shampooing a couple of times here and there won't really affect your hair care routine, causing detriment to it. So putting braids in at a time like that would be so helpful. Or maybe, throwing on a wig cap and just wearing a wig every day, making sure your hair is put in like a protective style where your ends are not out, where, people can't really take a whiff like that of the hair. So just making sure that you are still caring for it, but minding that you're not depleting yourself so much financially. And then last but not least, we have lifestyle. Now, I know someone is out there sitting there looking at me like, girl, don't nobody got time to be sitting up doing their hair every week. Like, are you crazy?
Ain't nobody got time for this.
I'm on a time crunch all the time. I don't even have time for myself. I don't even have time barely have enough time to sleep and to do other self-care practices. And you're telling me to do what? Wash hair? Nobody cares that much. I just want you to think of it in this way. It is your journey, okay? The beauty about any journey that you're going on, any kind of desire that you have, any goal or dream that you're chasing, is that you curate it to your own needs and to your own lifestyle. So if you don't have much time, create a hair care regimen that has has you doing very few things, that is very simplified, that is very cut down to what is most essential. You have to take a very minimalistic or essential list approach to this if you're having a lifestyle where you can't do a lot. And even if you have a lifestyle where you have a lot of free time or a lot of freedom financially, excuse me, you still need to be essentialist about any kind of journey, because otherwise you're wasting your time, you're wasting your resources, you're wasting opportunities, right? So even with the hair care journey, there's practices that you can look at and let me go on another tangent here, okay? There is something known as the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. Now, if you want me to make a video explaining this, I will, because this rule, if you understand this rule, it will completely change your life, okay? So the 80-20 rule is a rule that states that 80% of your results are accounted for by 20% of your actions. So 20% of the actions you take will give you 80% of your results. 20% of the hair care practices that you have or that you do will give you 80%.
Guys, I lost the rest of this. I lost the rest. I wrote the list. I lost the rest of this clip, unfortunately. But what I was trying to say is that 20% of the haircut practices that you have or that you do regularly will give you 80% of the results. Basically 80% of your growth, your volume, your length, your health, your shine, all that will come from 20% of the practices that you exactly. So what you should be doing is finding the 20%, which means few practices but that have a large return, rather than doing 10,000 things that are not really giving you the returns that you want. So find your 20% and it'll give you your 80%, and look forward to that video that I'll be making based on this principle, because really honestly it has changed my life. So
there's different types of shampoos, okay? The two main ones that I know is clarifying shampoo and moisturizing shampoo. If you can hear my stomach, don't mind that, mind your business. If you don't want your hair to be very, very stripped, use a moisturizing shampoo. There are many in the stores all around us. And if you want to use something that will really cleanse your hair and strip it of all product buildup, then use a clarifying shampoo. If you had a long-term protective style, it's best to use a clarifying shampoo. Get rid of all that dust, debris, and the rest of the things so that you can have a blank slate to work on. If you've been washing your hair maybe every week and you're using clarifying, somewhere there you can include a moisturizing shampoo so that you don't overly dry out your hair. So it's also, you can just say this week clarifying, this week moisturizing, this week clarifying, this week moisturizing, like that, because the moisturizing ones tend to have more slip and more moisturizing properties, as is in the name, and the clarifying ones just really strip your hair completely of all kinds of nasty dirt and debris. All right, so with that being said, let's get straight into the I always say that. With that being said, let's get straight into the so y'all, now I'm going to show you guys how to shampoo your hair like a G.
Hey guys, okay, so the first step here is to put your hair in sections if it's not already, or section your hair basically if it's not already sectioned, and then if it's already sectioned, go ahead and begin to saturate your hair with water completely. Take your time with this because this allows the cuticles to open and for the dirt to begin breaking up and lifting. Next, you pick your shampoo. You all already know I'm using my Ayurvedic shampoo bar by Mara Organics. It is in these sections here that I told you guys about. And now this is a really good shampoo bar. It's clarifying at the same time moisturizing. I don't know if that's possible, but it's really good for the hair, and I've seen a lot of benefits by using it. So just apply the shampoo all over your hair, spread it evenly, especially those edges which we like to lay and put gel on and all that, and then make sure you are conserving water, and also shutting off the water allows you to focus really carefully on just scrubbing, because now you're not distracted feeling like so much water is running, let me just rinse off. When you shut the water off, you can now focus on the scrubbing of your scalp. Now the first method is this one you're seeing me use here, which is using just the pads of your fingers, not your fingernails, just the pads of your fingers, which is the soft part behind your fingernails, and just really getting in there and making sure I'm getting it clean. And then the second method you can see me use here is the scalp scrubber that I told you guys about in my previous video. If you don't know about that, just I'll put a link below for my pre-poo video, and you can see it there. So it's not only a scalp massager but also a scalp scrubber which you can use to shampoo your hair. This one does a really good job of lifting the dirt and also dead skin cells on your scalp, so you can use that. And then lastly is the method of just opening each individual twist. Some people will open each individual twist and scrub that down like that, and then open all the twists all together and then rinse out their hair when all of it is open. But for me, and for anyone out there who has fine hair who needs to be a bit more careful, I would suggest scrubbing one section, but also not opening all of them up, but instead scrubbing and then twisting it back up and then rinsing your hair while it is twisted. And then when you're done, you just rinse it out. By the way, you can use both the pads of your fingers for this process when you're opening each individual twist, or you can still use the tool, which is the scalp scrubber, for each individual twist. So it's your choice. At the end of the day, just do what works for you. Rinse out very well, and then make sure to do this process again, girl. It is so important to scrub your scalp twice, wash your hair twice, especially depending on how long you've had your protective style in. If you've had it in for a month, wewe nitakuchapa, wash that hair twice. So make sure you are using your shampoo again, and you'll see that actually the suds is more, the nini povu yani is more when you do it twice. So which means your hair is now getting really clean. And focus on all your strands, take your time, but obviously don't over shampoo, because that can dry out your hair. And then rinse it out very well to avoid drying of the scalp, and you're done.
And with that, we've come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching it. I hope you find it valuable, and I hope you feel that you are ready to immediately take action on your goals, because that's my goal with these videos, is to make you feel ready, inspired, motivated, and informed enough to take immediate action on your hair goals and other goals in your life, baby. So if you feel like any of this information has been valuable to you, please let me know in the comments down below. If there's a question that you may have that I can address in videos to come, also let me know in the comments down below. And if there's anything you want to tell me on the side, hit me up on my email or my Instagram DMs, and I'll be sure to get back to you. Don't forget to subscribe if you are not already subscribed, and don't forget to share the video if you like it, and also like it so that it can be pushed around in the algorithm. And I will see you guys in my next one. Peace.